Good morning, and welcome to the graduation of St. Mary's College High School. I am James Jordan, class of 1989, and chair of the St. Mary's Board of Trustees. Let us begin the commencement exercises and welcome St. Mary's College High School's class of 2020. We assemble today in celebration of St. Mary's College High School's class of 2020. As we begin the celebration, we are all called and reminded to move forward continually on our commitment to the Lasallian journey of faith in the presence of God, respecting others, embracing inclusivity, concern for the poor, while always striving for a true quality education. We all wish that we were able to gather together at Zellerbach Hall to honor and celebrate our graduates. But please know that even if we are not together in an auditorium, we are always with you in our hearts and souls. We are and always will be together as a St. Mary's community. Let us remember that we are in God's holy presence. God, we thank our graduates for their time together at St. Mary's. We pray for all their parents, their families, our alumni, and their friends. Thank you for giving our graduates days of laughter and joy in times of great discovery and learning. We pray that they lead with the wisdom taught and shared with them while at St. Mary's. Thank you, God, for our teachers, staff members, coaches, and mentors. As John Baptist de La Salle wrote, "You can perform miracles by touching the hearts of those entrusted to your care." Many hearts have been touched by our talented educational staff. God, as this chapter of St. Mary's comes to a close, a new one begins filled with mixed emotions. Fill our graduates' hearts and minds with your thoughts and their bodies with your strength, as our graduates present themselves to you and the world like an open book. Finally, thank you, God, for the vision and work of St. John Baptist de La Salle and the Lasallian mission that has been taught and embraced by the Christian Brothers and other Lasallian leaders for over 300 years. Our hopes and prayers will always be with the graduates of 2020 and their families. St. John Baptist de La Salle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. It is my pleasure to invite to the podium Lawrence Puck, class of 1978, and president of St. Mary's College High School.
Thank you, Mr. James Jordan, for opening our graduation ceremony in honor of St. Mary's graduates of 2020. Thank you also for your years of dedication to the LaSallian mission and your support for St. Mary's as well as myself. God's blessings to our St. Mary's graduates and also your families. When we began this school year in August, I spoke to all of you about the importance of hope and living our lives guided by the LaSallian core principles. Little did I know that the word and meaning of hope would be needed more than ever in today's world. As many of you may recall, I had a medical emergency in September that put my life's work for St. Mary's and our LaSallian mission on hold for many months. I was so happy that I was able to return to full-time work in February with my colleagues, our wonderful administration, faculty, and staff. These people I work alongside with mean a lot to me, and they also inspire me with their dedicated commitment to LaSallian education. I feel honored to work with all of them. I am also grateful to the St. Mary's community, and especially to you, our graduates, and your families for your prayers and well wishes while I was ill and recovering. During my months of recovery, I would often pray for St. Mary's with a special prayer for all of you. My connection with the class of 2020 is strong because you were the final class I accepted when I was the director of admissions. Thinking back to when you were in 8th grade applying to St. Mary's, I recall your young, eager faces filled with joy, anticipation, wonder, and of course, hope. Along with the joy of meeting you, I was fortunate to spend time with many of your parents and family members. Graduates, let me assure you, your families are strong advocates for all of you. Over the past 4 years, your parents and families have shared with me over and over and over again what a wonderful child they had and how much joy each of you bring to them. They truly believe and have great faith in each of you. I have to agree with your families. Each one of you are talented, intelligent, and have the ability to bring change that can positively impact our world. It is now June 2020, and the world has changed for everyone. Change, as we are experiencing it, is difficult and frustrating. We all share your disappointment as you transition from St. Mary's to the next step in your young adulthood, spending your final high school months at home and graduating in a way you did not expect. The current climate made me recall a few of St. Mary's reunions, that of the class of 1941 and 1942. I remember asking them what it was like being a senior after December 7th, 1941. They shared with me that many of their classmates went off to war pre- and post-graduation. For them, the world had changed dramatically in one day. Going to war was not how they planned the end of their senior year. These men also told me that due to the uncommon end of their senior year, they grew even closer together and made a commitment to remain in contact with each other as the years forged on. Similar stories were shared from alumni who have graduated and fought in Korea and Vietnam. Many of these men credit their faith-based education at St. Mary's and the love for their families as the inspiration they needed as they left home at 18 years old with uncommon outcomes. Graduates, even though you are not going off to war, this time in the world's history is one that you will forever share with each other. You are a class that did not give up on yourselves or each other. I am so proud of all of you. I hope that as the years progress, you never give up on the promise of God's goodness and the gospel message of hope and love. Even though it may be hard to find at times, there are incredible people in this world that are doing remarkable things for others. Never lose sight of the goodness in yourself and in the goodness of others. Embrace service and care for others, especially to the poor and marginalized. Respect one another, even when you may not agree. We can still care and love family members and friends with differing opinions than our own. Be a light of hope and embrace openness for inclusivity to people who may not look or be like yourselves. You have and will continue to meet and witness many people in the world who work hard at dividing and judging all of us, whose sole goal it is to spread evil and the ugliness of bigotry, racism, and prejudice. Help be that strong beacon of goodness, love, openness, and acceptance to all people that we need so much in this world. Continue to strive for true quality education in this age of social media. There are many voices that share so much anger, hatred, dissent, and misinformation. Use your voice for hope and optimism, even when it is difficult. Always take a pause before you accept and trust what you hear and read. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is time before responding. Do not get caught up in other people's hatred and biases. Use the love in your heart, your critical thinking skills, and always seek for real truth and justice for all people. I am confident that each of you are ready to positively contribute to a changing and growing world. Our world needs your love, your souls, your intelligent minds, and your creativity. Our world needs you. Do not forget to give yourself time alone with God and time to live your faith. Regardless of your beliefs, it is important to remember that you be at inner peace with yourself. Don't forget to pray, meditate, give yourself a moment of silence. Take care of your inner and spiritual selves. John Baptist de La Salle wrote to one of his brothers saying, "Don't be discouraged by anxieties and troubles. Life is full of them." We all know life is uncertain and filled with anxieties and trouble. I sure learned this last September. We can plan and plan to our heart's content, and still the outcome sometimes is beyond our control. However, as you demonstrated these past months, never give up. Surround yourself with good, loving, and caring people and block out those who are not supportive of you. Your goals and aspirations will take a lot of hard work and dedication. They will also take time to achieve. Take the steps you need and embrace patience and time as you work towards your dream. Be strong people of faith. Faith in God, faith in your families, faith in those who love and support you, and just as importantly, have faith in yourselves. As you know, prayer and giving thanks is important to me. In my prayers, I always give thanks and great gratitude to our Board of Trustees, our administration, faculty, staff, and to the Christian Brothers for the gift and guidance of their mission. I also pray and give thanks to your families, our alumni, and our benefactors who pray for St. Mary's and provide the financial support needed to keep St. Mary's living its Lasallian mission. As I begin to close these remarks, I have a favor to ask. Make sure you thank your parents. Thank your families, teachers, coaches, and those people who have been your guardian angels throughout your life. Learn to live in truth and trust in God, and most importantly, live Jesus' message of loving one another. I am so grateful you were a part of St. Mary's 157th year tradition. Thank you for choosing St. Mary's and for being a part of our community and part of each of our lives. Thank you from the entire St. communities for contributing to our school history. Graduates, you will always be in our hearts and prayers. Live Jesus in our hearts forever.
On behalf of the faculty and staff of St. Mary's College High School, congratulations. It is no surprise to you that I am speaking to an empty auditorium. Please keep your applause down. I want to start with a story. Yesterday, when we were doing our filming, one of your classmates didn't show up. Our good friend Finn Butler texted Juan Miguel and said, "Where are you?" Later that evening, I received this email from Juan Miguel. "Yo, Peter, I have missed graduation due to a scheduling conflict. Sidebar, seriously, it's a COVID crisis. You don't have any obligations. We know you're lying. But never fear, for I have compiled an extensive collection of photographs for the purpose of photoshopping me into the graduation video. Feel free to use these photos as you wish." I don't know if you fellows can zoom in on this, but this is Juan Miguel Bird's photo. Thank you, Juan Miguel. We'll pray for you. Okay, back to this. On behalf of the entire St. Mary's community, congratulations. I know that you've heard your whole life old people like me saying stuff like, "You think you've got it tough. When I was a kid, I'd walk barefoot to school in the snow, uphill both ways," and all of that. They were mainly lies. Some might have been true. But someday, you're going to be that old person. And you're going to be able to say stuff like, "You think you've got it bad, kid. When I was in high school, they wouldn't let me go to school. And they started school one season at 9:30, and we had to go almost straight through till 12 noon. That was sacrifice." They'll look at you funny, but it's also true, and it's ironically a hardship. It was a hardship. It's been a tough term. And you've certainly had things taken away from you that should not be taken away from a teenager. Championship opportunities, the prom, being in class. Now, on the upside, there were a couple of things that you didn't have to deal with. Traffic, not a bad thing. The notion that, you know how we all like to think once in a while that we're the smartest person in the room? Well, this spring, taking classes remotely, that was true. Zoom has made many of us realize that you can get tired of looking at yourself. Not that that's happened to me, but no one got detention this entire spring. This is a good thing. And Samantha Meyer, I know you are at least one senior out there who owed many back detentions. So you're getting off scot-free. Congratulations. This is an upside. Another good thing, everybody got equal playing time in the spring sports this year. You didn't spend too much money on the prom. And by the way, the average amount of money that a St. Mary's prom that we invest into the educational system, the industry we call the prom industry, is $120,000 a year. You save that much money. more seriously, because your lives have been so radically altered, you, the class of 2020, stand out like no other class. You are, in this regard, unforgettable. I don't remember the class of 2009 very much. I don't remember the class of 1996 very much. The class of 77, I was a part of 77. There wasn't much to remember. Every single person will never forget you, the class of 2020. And frankly, that's because hardship does that. Enduring a hardship makes people stand out. So, congratulations. You're going off into the world soon, we hope. A couple of you are going into the military. A couple of you are taking a gap year, and I'm not sure what that means anymore. It's been kind of overused, but I think if you do it right, you'll do it like Mark Twain, and that is get on the equivalent of a Mississippi steamboat and just sail and see what happens to you in your life. Most of us, though, we're going to go to college. And frankly, if you care about that number, it's 93% of you, as you so describe. And you're going to go some places. I went through the list this morning. Baton Rouge, Providence, Rhode Island, Nashville, Tennessee, Honolulu, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Boston, Washington. It sounds like a travel log. Others of you are going far, far away to places like Vallejo, Pleasant Hill, Poughkeepsie, Walla Walla, Washington, Stockton. Seriously, it doesn't really matter where you go. It matters what you do when you get there. A couple of us are only traveling up the hill to Cal, my alma mater, and I do want to say to you, Mila and William and Wyatt and Caitlin, to stay away from room 809 in Deutsch Hall. I'm just telling you, it's cursed. There's something evil up there. Going back many years, I speak from authority. Any other place on campus, but 809 Deutsch, top floor, second from the end. Avoid it. Well, you're leaving under the strangest of circumstances. You, by the way, you're bringing with you one member of our faculty who is also leaving after 10 years. And that's a woman who has done an awful lot for you in getting you placed into your colleges. Miss Sonia Ryan will be moving on to be the Director of College Counseling at Justin Siena in Napa. You may want to give her a nod and a thank you. And you might want to extend those thank yous and nods to your teachers in general. Couple of thoughts. Beyond having most of you, at least virtually, in economics class this year, I've been looking around through the yearbook and I'm reminded of all the things that we did do. Athletically, TCAL championships in tennis, in cross country for the girls, NCS soccer championship in the bitter cold against Cardinal Newman with those snotty fans saying mean things about Ben, and Ben scoring 3 goals. Attaboy. Of course, the basketball teams, NorCal championships, girls and boys. And as far as we're concerned, state co-champions. Congratulations. This was, for St. Mary's, unprecedented. Beyond that, in the arts, we had the plays. While the lights were out, I discovered Finn Butler's wit, insight, quirkiness. I watched Hannah and Tommy. In dance, I was impressed by the skill of the seniors, Mia, Lydia, Sophia. I can go on and on about what you've contributed this year. But I do want to mention just one last thing, and that is your class has left a legacy in something that you may not care about, and that's the morning broadcast. I watched that team of students every morning. Well, a couple of years ago, it was nice. Last year, the year before, was good. This year was extraordinary. And it was extraordinary because no one person was more important than the team effort. And you've created a legacy for communicating with the school. People look forward to seeing the morning broadcasts. And for that, we thank all of you guys. Lucas and Aiden, of course, are the front men, and they did a fantastic job. But also, Julia singing, Andrew with sports, everybody behind the scenes. Predictions. I think this is the time of year where you're supposed to do advice and predictions. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I do believe it's going to be a challenge still for the next year or so. I do hope and believe you're ready for it. You are blessed to have parents who love you and have supported you all the way, and moms and dads, thank you very much. There is no greater gift to a child than raising them well, and children, there is no greater gift to parents than paying them back by paying it forward. Advice. Number 1, if you're going to college, graduate. 2, save more money than you spend in life. 3, always give 100% unless you're giving blood. That's a joke. Hold it. I'll wait for the laughter to subside. Thank you. If you're going to do something tonight that is going to make you feel sorry in the morning, sleep in late. Got that? Is that good? No? Okay. Do not order a fruit smoothie from a restaurant in Thebes, Egypt, the night before you get on an airplane to fly back to San Francisco. Let me tell you what will happen. Your tummy will hurt. You will board the plane. The flight attendants will look at you and say, "Do you have a temperature?" You might say yes. They will take you off the plane and make you stay in a Munich hotel for 3 days with your principal until they're sure you don't have COVID-19. Stay away from fruit smoothies in Thebes. Lastly, if you ever get to thinking that nobody cares if you're alive, try missing a couple of car payments. On behalf of the staff, the faculty, the brothers of St. Mary's College High School, we want you to know that we're really sorry that this happened to you this year. This was hard for a lot of people, but it's really tough to not get your graduation and not to be with your friends. And I've watched that. And when my daughter graduated last year, I looked back on that, and there were 6,000 people at that college stadium. And that meant a lot to me. And it also means a lot to your parents. We're very sorry that we're doing it this way. But we also know that this won't define you, or if it does, it will in a positive way. We look forward to seeing you again as alumni. God bless you. St. John Baptist de La Salle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever.
Each year, a student is chosen from among the graduates to deliver the valedictory address. The graduate is chosen based on achievement and how they have lived out the core principles of LaSallian education. The valedictory address is meant to inspire the graduating class as they turn toward the future, to reach for higher ideals and put what they have learned at St. Mary's into action. Lucas Manuel Scheibe has been chosen valedictorian. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucas Manuel Scheibe.
Welcome, Board of Trustees, Mr. Puck, administration, faculty, parents, and the class of 2020. These are interesting, crazy, liminal, and, well, they're weird times. I don't think anyone expected graduation to go like this. I know that I did not think that my senior year would end like this. Countless A blocks and C blocks, hectic finals day cram sessions, and rushing from Hopkins and Solano's to make it back before that 5-minute bell dared ring. Mr. Banks stopping me thinking I was in trouble, only for him to tell me I looked like that one guy from that one 80s movie, and then just to say, "Get back to class." Of TCAL and NCS dreams, and musical Hell Week mayhem, and dashing to Mr. Summers for a tie because this day of all days was a liturgy day. Lazing on the grass, typing away an outline due next period, taking a couple of laps around the pool because it's been a long day. It's been a long 4 years, and yet I'm here. We are here, wondering how those days skipped by so effortlessly. This is what graduation is for. A culmination of and a reflection on all these things and more. A stepping stone, a bookend, a genesis. But why did it have to happen like this? And why to us, our class? My family and I were taking our weekly quarantine putts around the neighborhood when we bumped into childhood family friends of ours who had grown up around the corner. The eldest daughter is also a senior. And this question came up as we yelled at each other from across the street. I think I said something like, "We were born right after 9/11, just kids as the 2008 financial crisis struck. We entered high school in 2016 during a period of growing social and political polarization, and now we're graduating alongside a worldwide pandemic. Are we cursed or something?" It wasn't a question meant to be answered, more of a rhetorical cry out to the universe, but the mother replied something I had never really thought of. She said, "I don't think you're cursed. I think this is what makes your class so special. I think it's exactly why your generation will be the leaders of so much change in the future. We have been through so much, and yet because of it, we stride with compassion, creativity, and perseverance. And it is these attributes that have been fostered at St. Mary's. From integrals to friction to covalent bonds to antitheses, rondejams and monologues and piano solos and 4-part harmonies. French and Spanish give us new tongues to speak with, while past realities are brought alive in our histories. Confirmation bias and System 1 thinking are readily available phrases within our vocabulary, but so are supply and demand, utilitarianism, and the prodigal son. What this community has given to us stretches outside of the classroom beyond words. Our teachers have built and nurtured an environment where ready minds are welcome. And it's not just the teachers. Our leaders include club moderators, coaches, counselors, administrators, brothers, and staff. More often than not, they're also mentors, friends, or just another human being to talk to. Take Mr. Atzmon, for example, of Buildings and Grounds, zooming through on his golf cart to see how I'm doing while maintaining the beauty of our campus, or Miss Lockman right down the hall of St. Joe's with a quip and a smile. Valesian IT, or perhaps the welcoming Mr. Thomas, who is always ready to gift you knowledge if you just ask. They too bear our Lasallian values and Panther pride. And, of course, to the students, the lifeblood of St. Mary's. We are some of the most interesting people if you take the time to really get to know us. We each have our own story and our own place. Nowhere is this more evident to me looking out now to the graduating class of 2020. Here I see the start of 134 different paths brought about by a diversity of thought and a diversity of origin. Like Nellie Ann Warner, whose quick wits will grace the halls of Northwestern as she studies psychology, or Leo Tilson, who with kindness and an open heart will be playing basketball at Oberlin this fall, or maybe someone like William Molnar, whose ever-present drive for knowledge directs him towards UC Berkeley to study computer science. And that's only to name a few. I see athletes in this crowd, artists, musicians, journalists, actors, chemists, biologists, and physicists, writers, engineers, sociologists. The list goes on. But while we may all be going in different directions, taking the world by storm, we will all have begun from the same place. We are all imbued with the Lassallean core principles of faith in the presence of God, of concern for the poor and social justice, of respect for all persons, of quality education, and of inclusive community. This class of 2020 makes us so much more than our college or our majors or whatever our next steps may be. Panther pride filled with creativity, compassion, and an endless will to overcome through community and self-betterment. This is us. This is the class of 2020. We as a class, as individuals, as citizens of the world have grown and transformed tremendously in these past 4 years. We were born in chaos, we've lived through it, been educated around it, and yet we are still here. This was not the mountain that we wanted to end on. But we will not be denied our story and our place. Nothing, not even COVID-19, can take that away from us. There are many more challenges to come. And I don't mean this to scare or to frighten you. Quite the opposite. I know that St. Mary's graduates, imbued with the values of De La Salle, are ready to meet them head on. So go out into the world. Vote. Look out for the little guy. Become the scientists, writers, and activists of our generation. Spread justice through love. Find a new community. Build a new community. But also know that you'll always have one right here. Grounded in our shared Lassallean values. Class of 2020. We will spread change. And nobody can stop us. Go get 'em, Panthers. Thank you.
We now recognize the following members of the class of 2020 who will graduate with honors based on their grade point average. Graduating cum laude, which means with praise, and for having achieved an overall academic grade point average of 3.2 to 3.49. These students wear a white tassel on their caps. The following students are graduating magna cum laude, which means with great praise, for having achieved an overall academic grade point average of 3.5 to 3.74. These students are wearing a gold tassel on their caps. Summa cum laude means with highest praise. We honor these graduates who have achieved an overall academic grade point average of 3.75 to 4.0. This is the highest academic honor a student can achieve. These students are wearing a gold tassel on their caps and a gold cord.
Each year, the St. Mary's College High School chapter of the California Scholarship Federation, also known as CSF, awards seal bearer certificates, pins, and certificates to its life members. These students have maintained high academic performance and have attained membership in CSF throughout the last 3.5 years of high school. Members are wearing their pins and will receive certificates. Life membership in the California Scholarship Federation is awarded to Manav Ajamani, Halisi Anderson, Jackson Bader, Matthew Barcelos, Asher Broom, Annika Bryden, Matthew Drake, Harrison Bixby Geller Ingram, Tobin Graff, Mia Graham, Thomas Hubner, Caitlin Iglesias, Lucy Eichen, Aiden Jacobs Walker, Jade Johnson, Owen Jump, Ronan Kelly, Adeline Leem, Christian Lunas, Kerbin Lum, Nicholas Madsen, Lucas Martin, Ailish McGriffin, Hannah McKiernan, Andrew Melendez, William Molnar Brock, Gabriel Poncho, Alejandra Robbins, Alexander Rudolph, Medea Sanabria, Stephen Sanchez, Georgia Siemens, Callista Sperry, Camilla Sutphin, Wyona Tan, Sean Verdotti, Olivia Victa, Nellianne Warner, Justin Wee, Sophia Williams, and James Wu.
The St. Mary's College High School chapter of the National Honor Society, also known as NHS, awards stoles to those students who have met the requirements of the organization. Students are wearing a stole today who have not only maintained a 3.75 GPA, but have also performed hours of community service. Collectively, the seniors have completed over 1,000 hours of service. National Honor Society stoles are awarded to our president, Manav Ajmani, Lena Anderson, Jackson Bader, Avery Brunsman, our volunteer coordinator, Annika Bryden, Yingtong Ding, Harrison Bixby Geller Ingham, Blaze Goldstein, our treasurer, Mia Graham, Lucy Inken, Aiden Jacobs Walker, Owen Jump, Adeline Liam, Christian Lonis, Kerbin Lum, Lucas Martin, the Vice President, Ailish McGiffin, Gabrielle Pacho, Alejandra Robbins, Angelisa Rodriguez, Alexander Rudolph, Stephen Sanchez, Secretary Sophie Sheen, Georgia Siemens, Wyona Tan, Olivia Victa, and Justin Wee.
At At this time, we would like to honor the graduates who have been acknowledged for having done an exceptional job on their senior projects. These students went above and beyond the requirements of the project. They exhibited passion and determination in their pursuit of knowledge and in the production of their finished products. These students are wearing a red cord. Graduates who have completed their senior project with distinction include Jackson Bader, Emery Bullock, Quinn Freidenberg, Lydia Howard, Caitlin Iglesias, Lucy Inken, Jade Johnson, Nicholas Madsen, Wyatt Meyer, Nicholas Rangel, Samuel Reagan, Esperanza Rodriguez, Alexander Rudolph, Leonardo Ruiz Garcia, Stephen Sanchez, Callista Sperry, and James Wu.
In addition, the following students are being recognized for their year-long commitment to our ongoing mission-related projects, overseen by the President of St. Mary's and his team. These graduates will receive a St. John Baptist de La Salle pin. For their research for our middle school program, Toby Barak, Catherine Cadigan, Hugo May, Michael Steele, Jordan Walton. For completing a book of prayers for the St. Mary's community, Ryan Christ.
For the Inclusive Community Project, Lena Anderson, Matthew Barcelos, Annika Bryden, Sophia Kingsbury, McKenna Krashna, Adalyn Liam, and Olivia Victa. Thank you, you guys.
The St. John Baptist de La Salle Certificates of Academic Distinction are awarded to graduates who have distinguished themselves in the following academic areas. Our department chairs will be announcing these awards.
Students distinguished in the field of English are Caitlin Iglesias and Callista Sperry.
The award for journalism and her pioneering work goes to Georgia Siemens. For creative writing, dedication to the magazine and to their craft, Lucas Manuel Scheiba, Georgia Siemens, Max Tarzinski, and Nellie Ann Warner. For world languages in the field of Spanish, certificates are awarded to Hannah McKiernan, Giselle Ornelas, Alejandra Robbins, and Leonardo Ruiz Garcia. In the field of world languages in French, certificate is awarded to Medea Sanabria.
In the field of social science, awards go to Halisi Anderson, Matthew Barcelos, Mila Sutphin, and Leo Tilson.
In the field of religious studies, Toby Barak, Mia Graham, Alex Rudolph, Olivia Victa, and Nellie-Ann Warner.
In the field of mathematics, the awards go to Aiden Jacobs Walker and William Molnar Brock.
In the field of science, Yingtong Klu Deng, Matthew Drake, Harrison Bixby Geiler Ingham, and James Wu.
In the field of philosophy, the award goes to Quinn Freidenberg and Thomas Hibner, both who exhibited fearlessness in the face of the Socratic dictum, know thyself.
In the field of visual arts, Camilla Sutphin. In the field of drama performance, Finnegan Butler and Hannah McKiernan. In the field of drama technical, Maya Govers. In the field of instrumental music, Jonathan Franisek and Jeremy Samuel. In the field of choral music, Jacob Bala. And in the field of dance, Georgia Siemens and Lydia Howard.
Each year, St. Mary's College High School presents special awards to honor those graduates who have demonstrated outstanding talent and service. Mr. Filson, our athletic director, will be announcing these awards.
Before I announce the awards, I just want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to watch these young men and women compete at such a high level over the last 4 years. The most inspirational athlete awards are presented to the graduating student athletes who, by their demeanor and athletic performance, have exerted the most positive influence on their teammates and coaches. This year's recipients are Jason Roche and Kayla Rosemont. The St. Mary's College High School Athlete of the Year Awards are presented to the graduating student athletes who achieved the highest level of athletic excellence over their 4 years. This year's recipients are Alyssa Kambula Doherty, Wyatt Meyer, Leo Tilson, and Alexa Virgil.
Each year, a graduate is chosen to deliver a speech that salutes the class and reminds them of their shared experiences of high school. This speech was presented at the Baccalaureate Liturgy on Saturday evening. A St. Mary's Medal was presented to the class of 2020 salutatorian, Emery Bullock. At the beginning of today's ceremony, we heard from the class valedictorian. In gratitude for his words and message, a St. Mary's Medal was presented to the class of 2020 valedictorian, Lucas Manuel Scheibe.
Each year, St. Mary's College High School presents special awards to those graduates who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement in the various academic disciplines. Once again, our department chairs will be announcing these awards.
The St. Mary's Award for Visual Arts is presented to the graduate who has excelled in the area of visual arts. This year's recipient is Lola Alator. The St. Mary's Award for Performing Arts is presented to the graduates who have excelled in live performances. This year's recipients are Thomas Hübner for theater arts and Juliana Sorby for dance.
The St. Mary's Award for Mathematics is presented to the graduate who has demonstrated both exceptional insight and outstanding mathematical competence. This year's recipients are Ying Tong Klu Deng and George Anders.
The St. Mary's Award for World Languages is presented to the graduates who have excelled in the study of a language other than English. This year's recipient for French is Ailish McGiffin. This year's recipient for Spanish is Odales Andrea Sosa Pineda.
The St. Mary's Award for English is presented to the student, the graduate, who has excelled in the study of literature and in the communication of the written word. And I'm delighted to announce this year's recipient is Georgia Siemens.
The St. Mary's Award for Social Science is presented to the graduate whose work in social science has been truly exceptional. This year's recipient is Callista Sperry.
The De La Salle Award for Religious Studies, named in honor of the founder of the Brothers of the Christian Schools and patron saint of all teachers, is awarded to the graduate who has demonstrated not only reverence for God, but also an understanding and appreciation of contemporary religious issues. I'm delighted to announce that this year's recipient is Aiden Jacobs Walker.
The St. Mary's Award for Science is presented to the graduate who has excelled in the area of laboratory science. This year's recipients are Aiden Jacobs Walker and Nellie Ann Warner. Congratulations.
The final academic award given today is the General Academic Excellence Award. It's presented to the graduate who has achieved the highest grade point average over the 4 years of their high school career. This year, there are two receiving this honor. They are Aiden Jacobs Walker and Wyona Tan. The highest school awards. These final awards are presented to the graduates who most embody the Catholic and LaSallian heritage and tradition of St. Mary's College High School. Their work on campus this year especially has been extraordinary and important in building a stronger St. Mary's community. The St. Mary's Award for Faith is presented to the graduate who best models the gift and virtue of faith and of living with gospel values. This student celebrates the LaSallian core principle of faith in the presence of God and quality education through his or her activities while at St. Mary's. This year's recipient is Ryan Christ. The St. Mary's Award for Community is presented to the graduate who best demonstrates Jesus' call to serve others and has continually taken on this responsibility by serving the student leadership team all 4 years while at St. Mary's. This year's 2 recipients are Tommy Hibner and Hannah Rose McKiernan. The St. Mary's Award for Service is presented to the graduate who has performed outstanding work in building true Christian community at St. Mary's. This student celebrates the Lasallian core principles through their exemplary service to and love for our St. Mary's community. This year's recipients are Aiden Jacobs Walker and Lucas Manuel Scheiba. Thank you. Manav Ajmani. Lola Alatorre. Kieran Alberts. Jeremiah Alleman. George Anders. Halizi Anderson. Lena Anderson. Socrates Angel. Fabienne Albertine. Jackson Bader. Jacob Bala. Benjamin Banks Altacruz. Matthew Barcelos. Julia Bates. Jacob Bradley. Asher Broom. Avery Brunsman. Annika Bryden. Emery Bullock. Tobias Burak. Skylar Burkhart. Finnegan Butler. Juan Miguel Bird. Catherine Cadigan. Ansel Carson. Hanbai Evan Chen. Ryan Christ. Kelsey Clyde. Peter Davis. Jack DeAndreas. Zachary Deering Haddix. Yingtong Klu Deng. Aislinn Dora. Matthew Drake. Emily Espinoza. Alexa Flores. Jonathan Franizak. Quinn Freidenberg. Harrison Bixby Geiler Ingham. Blaze Goldstein. Leslie Gonzalez. Lauren Good. Maya Govers. Tobin Graff. Mia Graham. Liam Hadovic. Sinclair Hicks. Jason Hill. Lydia Howard. Thomas Hubner. Caitlin Iglesias. Lucy Inken. Ethan Shigeo Inoue. Aiden Jacobs Walker. Jade Johnson. Kelly Johnson. Owen Jump. Alyssa Kambulu Doherty. Ronan Kelly. Sophia Kingsbury. McKenna Krashna. Michaela Lewis. Olivia Lewis. Adalyn Liam. Tevion Lindsay. Christian Lonis. Kerbin Lum. Nicholas Madsen. Bianca Malalawan. Lucas Manuel Scheiba. Lucas Martin. Hugo May. Ailish McGiffin. Hannah McKiernan. Sophia McKinney. Andrew Melendez. Wyatt Meyer. Sagan Mina Miguel Kuraki. Weldon Miles III. Talon Mitchell. William Molnar Brock. Jordan Muir. Samantha Myers. Jawen Tiffany Nee. Monique Ochoa. Kimora Oliver. Giselle Ornelas. Andrew Oster. Elijah Ottaviano. Gabrielle Pacho. Julian Placencia Schoenberg. Radha Rai. Nicholas Rangel. Samuel Reagan. Julia Remigio. Naya Reinhardt. Alejandra Robbins. Jason Roche. Angelisa Rodriguez. Esperanza Rodriguez. Kayla Roseman. Alexander Rudolph. Leonardo Ruiz Garcia. Jeremy Samuel. Medea Sanabria. Steven Sanchez. Adam Schmidt. Liam Scott. Sophie Sheen. Shane Sheralian. Georgia Siemens. Marley Smith. Eden Solomon. Juliana Sorby. Odalis Andrea Sosa Pineda. Callista Sperry. Michael Steele. Camilla Sutphin. Wyona Tan. Max Tarzinski. Leonard Tilson. Amelia Tremaine. Sean Verdotti. Alexa Virgil. Olivia Victa. Jordan Walton. Stop and go look that way. Look that way. There you go. Nellie-Ann Warner. Justin Wee. Sophia Williams. James Wu. Harmony Woodson. Isaac Yee. Jingran Hannes Zhang. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of 2020.
And so, as is the tradition, as we sing our alma mater, let's all get up, let's all rise. Wherever you are, if you're at home, you rise as well. All alumni as well, just come on and join us in the singing of our school song. The bells of St. Mary's, they always shall guide us through all of our sorrows, our victories and hopes, for we will be faithful to all you have taught us, to live for truth, to trust in God, St. Mary's. Hail!
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this once, and if it fails, it fails. Yes.
one. Wile E. Coyote. Oh, no. Just want to add that in. I think I said Tommy's name wrong. Franz Ferdinand of Austria. Bob Marley.